Hi there and welcome to the video, and I hope you enjoyed that little sort of musical introduction there because I wanted to talk about the sad news that a lot of people are talking about, which is the death of Ozzy Osbourne. Now, I grew up in a family of very much rock orientated uncles. I had a lot of uncles and they all liked, Ozzy Osbourne, Iron Maiden, Whitesnake, Def Leppard, the classic sort of 80s heavy rock bands. And so growing up as a child, despite being musical and loving classical music and all kinds of different music, the first music I was exposed to really was the 80s rock giants. And I listened to a lot of Ozzy Osbourne growing up. And I think it always stuck with me. I think there was something about his music that I really liked. Now, granted, he's a great songwriter and performer and, very charismatic. But he also had a great writing team as well of other songwriters and musicians who, really took it to the next level in terms of musical virtuosity. And actually, quite a lot of the songs on his albums, they're quite complex musically. And there's plenty to kind of get stuck into. And in particular, I suppose the albums that really stood out to me was No More Tears. I think just the songwriting, the structures of the songs, the musical ideas were really quite deep, and there was so much going on, so much, sound design and, synths were being used and keyboards, and it was really, it was a really great musical experience. And I always remember there was one album that in particular that scared me quite a lot, if I'm honest. And that was The Ultimate Sin. I'll put a link to the cover because it's quite a terrifying image, but very much of its time. But I always really, really loved that album, particularly Killer of Giants was a really, really great track. And I must try and do some Ozzy Osbourne covers. But yeah, I just wanted to come on and just sort of share the sadness because I did a video recently because, related to like the Beach Boys and how we're losing a lot of the old guard and the real great musicians, and I don't know, the different breed, very, very different breed to what we have now, I think. And this is not meant to be a put down as such, but I think we don't really have many artists now, I think, that are going to be sort of looked back on in sort of towards the end of their lifetime and celebrated in quite the same way as some of these great songwriters and musicians who are perhaps now reaching an age where they are starting to die off. And it's really, really sad, isn't it? But Ozzy Osbourne was a character. He had a lot of personality. He wrote great songs, amazing albums. He's left a real legacy behind him. Now, granted, I'm not really so keen on his kind of the later stage in his life when he went a bit more reality TV. That kind of side of things, yeah, not my kind of thing. But in terms of the legacy of his music, it can't be questioned and denied that he really had a lasting impression on many bands, and certainly on me growing up as well. So, but yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you enjoyed this little piano tribute that I've done. And big thumbs up to Ozzy, some great stuff, and I'll see you all soon.